welcome to another episode of Candid Talks with Part2. This is Bharat Vatsa, your host. In previous episode, we were speaking with Sanober Pardiwalla, India's only Marvel Stuntwoman of Bollywood, and got to know more about her experiences of stunts and the challenges she faced while going through the most difficult training of Shaolin Temple. Today, in our continued conversation with her, we will get to know further more aspects of her life. Please do listen to the episode till the end. Before we begin, please do not forget to subscribe to this podcast channel, and you can connect with me on my Facebook page at Candid Talks with Part2. So let's welcome Sanober Pardiwalla.
Hi, this is Sanober Pardiwalla, India's only stuntwoman artist of Bollywood, और आप मुझे सुन रहे हैं on Candid Talks with Part2.
So coming back to the stunts, Sanober, any memorable or craziest stunt that you would like to tell our listeners, and for which actress?
Well, so the craziest stunts. Okay, pick a category and I'll tell you. Which category do you want to hear in?
Any category that you think has been the most craziest of all, out of any? Which probably brings you, the moment you think of it, it gives you goosebumps. Maybe let's call it that way.
This was for the movie Ravan that I was shooting for Aishwarya Rai, okay. And this was a waterfall. And in the movie, she jumps off, committing suicide, but she survives the fall. And the reason she survives that 200 feet fall is because she crash lands into trees, and that acts as a suspension. So one tree to the other, to the branch, to the rock, to the tree, to the branch, and that is what kind of acts as a suspension to her fall. Finally, she falls into the river, which saves her life. And this sounds very good, but now we had to execute it. So we were shooting in middle of a rainforest, Ithirapalli rainforest in Kerala, and it was one of the most difficult locations to be working with, one of the most troublesome locations, because it's always wet. It's a rainforest, you're always wet, so you are always fine, but your equipment is also always wet. The ropes are wet, the pulley is wet, the fender center is wet, everything is always 24/7 wet. There is sunshine, but not enough to dry up things.
Okay.
And so then you have to do that. You have to plan at the edge of the mountain. So to even get our equipments right till the top was a 2-day process.
Oh, so all the equipments were taken till the top of the waterfall?
Yes, and the lower point of the waterfall. So the camera equipment was on top because it was a top angle shot. This other side that we had chosen for the rock tree suspension fall, that was another site which we had chosen, and over there the camera was at a lower angle, so there were no actual man-made roads to reach there, so you had to take an off-road and reach there. Now for a human to walk off-road and reach a particular spot, it's okay. Now imagine you had to carry the entire camera trolley, now the big load movie making camera on it, now the equipment that goes with it. So it cannot just go in a day. It took us 2 days only to transfer the equipment, and after the shoot was done, it took us that 2 days again to bring the equipment back to base.
Wow.
So yes, that's how difficult sometimes it can get to shoot in the middle of the forest. And it was, I think, one of the trickiest stunts, and it was one of the most dangerous stunts as well.
And I'm sure this would have been done only one single take, right? Not multiple.
So the jumping from the waterfall was done in 13 takes. 13 times I've jumped off that 150 feet waterfall. And the tree branch rock sequence, that was 200 feet, and that was one take.
Wow.
That was the most difficult to even shoot, because after 200 feet, when they take you all the way up, at 200 feet, Bharat, you can't even hear they are calling you action. You can't even.
It must be noisy. I mean, pura pani ka pura noise sare mein.
Yeah, noise itna hai, and then you are on top.
Yeah.
All right. The is gushing. The trees are, there is this beautiful nature sound, and from there, my director screaming his lungs in the mic. I would wouldn't even know that he is saying something.
Okay.
Because everyone looks tiny. How
So
would I know who's who?
they didn't use the walkie-talkies or something there?
Well, when it was no man's land, okay, and so that mountain top that I was on, I had to be elevated from the ground.
Oh, okay.
It was not that I came up to a mountain and from there is where the fall started. No, it
Uh-huh.
started from ground level at the river, above the river. They had to elevate me right till 200 feet up on top, and
Okay.
from top they scream action and the rope starts coming down.
Okay. Okay.
The rope starts coming down. That is how it was. So if I had to carry a walkie-talkie, then finally I had to throw it 200 feet into the river.
Yeah.
Finally we had to do that because otherwise I couldn't hear what they were trying to communicate.
Okay.
They sent a guy up there with a walkie-talkie, and then finally that did fall into the river.
Oh, okay. So 13 times, and every time you would have done this, every time दिमाग में आया होगा यार फिर से अभी वापस करो, फिर ऊपर जाओ, फिर नीचे जाओ. My God, it must have been exhaustive.
Totally. I think that day I must have lost 3 kgs there and there on that set. Hydrated, hunger, you're still functioning, and you're sweating like anything because it's also hot. You see,
Hot
though
and
you're
humid.
wet, hot. Yes, it's humid and it's hot, and you're constantly wearing.
So, Sanober, Bollywood being, as it's a man-dominated industry, there's no hidden fact. How did you manage to survive in such environment? Among the entire environment with all other stunt mans around.
Well, I never took it so seriously in the very first place. And the way I looked at it was I would take it with a pinch of salt and a pound of positivity. Mm-hmm. So no matter what criticism it was or however it was, I would choose to understand it and take it constructively for my own self.
Okay.
And it really worked. And no matter what, at the end of the day, you should be strong enough to understand whose opinion matters. You have to understand that, you have to justify it to yourself, and when a person's opinion doesn't matter, neither should, if I don't mind, it doesn't matter. Simple as this.
So कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि you tried to give your opinion and it was not accepted by the person in charge, and then you were forced to do the way they wanted you to perform this stunt? ऐसा कभी कुछ हुआ है?
So no, that is one thing, Bharat. I don't know. It's a great conditioning of my parents or what, that there is nothing on this earth that can make me do something I don't want to do.
Okay.
So at one point in time, I was asked to perform a bike stunt wherein it was a simple bike jump off the ramp and land. Okay. Now there was this the board, the cardboard that we use as a wall. So when, in movies में दिखता था कि ऐसा कुछ ऐसा poster फटा and bike निकला और land हुआ.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So now imagine, instead of a poster, we can't put a poster because it flies and it's difficult to break. But what we use is a softboard के painting कर देते हैं. So it looks like that poster, but when it breaks for the camera, it has to shatter.
Yeah.
कपड़ा ये होता है तो वो बीच में से tear हो जाता है. But if it's a softboard, it shatters.
Okay.
And it is a beautiful image for the camera. So that was the kind of stunt that I had to do. And I only asked them to change the ramp because there was no landing area ahead. The landing area was only 15 feet. So I said, with common sense, in 15 feet, I won't be able to land. No matter what bike you give me, no matter what.
What was the elevation of the ramp?
So the ramp was at 4 feet.
Okay.
And the ramp was only 3 feet. The length, 3 feet.
Okay.
So even I told them that it is too short of a ramp and the height is too much.
Yeah.
So, and this thing, my bike would pick height, and and because it's also in speed and momentum, it would go further.
Yeah.
It would not straight land under 15 feet of where the ramp starts.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And 15 feet ahead, there was the camera.
Okay.
The entire movie making, the focus puller, and everyone along with it, along with the actors. So it's impossible to land before them.
Yeah.
Impossible. With common sense, if I drive at the speed of 10, I would come face down. I had to at least pick a minimum speed of 50, minimum, And if I am at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour with only 3 feet of surface at height of 4 feet, I would at least be shooting 25 to 30 feet further ahead.
Yeah.
Not until it was impossible. So I asked them, said, no, we still have to make it possible and you'll have to figure it out. I said, okay, we will make it happen. But what you do is reduce the height of the ramp. Instead of putting the camera at the face level to see the blast, put the camera at a lower angle. You will see the height, cheat the camera, because this is what we normally do in movie making. Cheat that at a lower angle. And so from a lower angle, you will still see the bike fly. You will still see the poster break and everything. But this can be achievable if everything is in a little different arrangement. So I asked them to increase the length of the ramp and reduce the height of it.
Okay.
And changing the camera angle to the face level to the ground level. So that would still look beautiful on camera. Wow factor would still come on the camera. But at the same time, everything, the whole thing can still be achievable. So they refused. So what he said was, no, this cannot happen simply because he just asked me suddenly, how old are you? And I'm like 16. And he's like, I have 16 years of experience. This is exactly what I have done. And this is what you need to do. If you break it. So I said, but you know what? I'm going to end up breaking my leg and injuring many others. I'll be landing on the camera guy for what I know instead of before him. So he's like, even if you have to break your leg, you're a stunt artist and this is your job to break your leg. And that's why I corrected him and he got offended. I corrected him by saying, no, I'm a stunt artist. My job is to perform the most dangerous stunt without getting hurt. And me not getting hurt is your job to make sure as a stunt director that the stunt in a manner when no one gets hurt. Now, since he got seriously offended by it, I refused to do it. The only solution was some other guy doing it. So the other guy dressed up in the women's costume. He smoked a joint of cigarette with some drugs in it and he performed the stunt. Now he did it with the ramp calculation. He landed on so this is exactly what happened. He landed on the cameraman. Upon landing, he broke his shin bone. He fractured his ankle. He fractured his elbow. He fractured a couple of his fingers because he landed on the left-hand side. And he also, there was a spine injury, which then later I didn't follow up as to what it was. But there was a spine injury as he couldn't move his back.
My God.
He injured the cameraman. He broke the camera, which was worth 25 lakhs at that point in time. And the actress herself was also injured. And after the whole got over, the person would actually come up to me and tell me that, hey, maybe you were right. We should have reduced the, height of the ramp and we should have done the way you were asking us to. And I'm like, too late. You've kind of ruined a life. I really hope you can stay well with it. Too late.
So, do we still have the insurance and everything for all the stunt artists in Bollywood?
We do have it. In fact, Akshay Kumar has been really kind enough to have insurances and mediclaims for all our stunt artists here in Bollywood.
Okay. Because earlier, I believe it was not there. I mean, it was very...
Like, I had to buy my own insurance. I had to have my own mediclaim. And that is how it was.
Okay. So, Sanober, as Bollywood being a male-dominated industry, so do you think it has evolved over the period of time in terms of its, perception towards women? Or is it still the same?
I think it has really evolved, and I think more women have become more confident about it, and they are not accepting it or they are not understanding it as a male-dominated industry, and they are making their work speak more than anyone else.
Okay. And how do you think about the technology, the safety measures? Insurance, I've already asked you, but what about the technology and the safety measures? Have they also been improvised?
Yes. Technology is so much better that we can actually make you look at you standing on Mount Everest at this point in time and interviewing me. The technology is that good. Okay. So this is the VR technology, which is a lot used in stunts these days. And apart from that, the safety protocol, yes, it is also improvised. There are newer paddings, a lot of better materials which are used as safety, a lot of better ideas, new thoughts, new school. And yes, so the safety is definitely a priority and it is progressed.
So did you come across any such scenario wherein you had to perform the same type of stunt multiple times across different movies, and how did you, probably you would have done that stunt previously, and you would have got a chance to further improvise that stunt when you're performing the next. So ऐसा
Hmm.
कभी कुछ हुआ है, if you can remember?
With each stunt, so with each stunt I perform, there is always something that you learn out of it,
Mhm.
and you grow out of it. So even if it's that one take perfect okay shot, you still learn out of it. The factors, the camera angle, everything, the light angle, the camera angle, the retake. Even if there are retakes, let's say with the same stunt doing somewhere else, there could be a retake. Now, there could be a retake is not because of the stunt performed, but because the camera missed, or the camera couldn't capture the focus, or the focus puller missed the focus,
Yeah.
or there was just a shadow from the light for no reason. Or sometimes when you're shooting outdoors and you're doing the same stunt, it can go into multiple takes simply because the sunlight changed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just the stunt performing factor. There are a lot of external factors which are totally out of your control that also affects and takes place in retaking shots and retaking stunts. And even if you're performing the same stunt again, same exact stunt with same exact thing, just on a different movie set. The first movie could have been done in one single shot. The second movie could be done in 10 shots. The same stunt also.
Oh,
It could just be that.
it always depends upon multiple factors. So ऐसे में so before you actually start going and performing this stunt, so what kind of strategy do you make along with the stunt director, obviously? कैसे strategize करते हैं कि इसको कैसे करना चाहिए, कितने टाइम में करना चाहिए? And I know you said that there are maths, there is a mathematics and physics involved, and I'm sure you must be doing the entire replication on the screen first, maybe to check कि what kind of physics and mathematics is involved. तो वो strategize कैसे करते हो आप सब मिलके इसको, be it any stunt?
So that is how we strategize. First is the planning, then is the organizing, and then is the execution. So planning factor kind of takes 60% of it because you need to understand it exactly from the movie making director's mind as to what is in his mind, and because the director already has the video of the stunt in his mind.
Okay, and इसके लिए कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर वगैरह यूज करते हैं आप लोग कंप्यूटर
No,
में?
there are no softwares basically. What we do is it's about storyboard or how you make those cartoons on board.
Yeah.
It is more of on that format, and from there so that's our planning, strategizing, and execution.
Okay. And have you ever performed any stunt out of India?
Yes, there are many. In fact, I've traveled half the world for performing stunts.
Wow. Any specific one which you remember, which you would like to recall and tell us? The ones which is outside, abroad one.
Well, we were shooting for Doom 2 actually, and I think those were one of the most memorable ones because there were so many times that we had bike riding shots, we were jumping off the cliff, we were doing what not during that movie, and because the locations were so beautiful. Apart from the locations, I mean, everyone was in such a positive, good mood. Everyone was, nice and happy around. So yes, I think the whole era and the atmosphere itself was pretty positive to be working with. Plus, there were times, Ritik would be sitting behind me. So there was one scene where I was sitting behind him, and then he would had to go behind, turn in a manner sit on the track. So I would screech in from the side and be riding the bike.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that shot. Yeah.
Yes, from Doom 2. Yeah.
Doom 2. Yeah.
So yeah, so exciting times because those were heavy bikes, and plus you have an actor to take care of.
Obviously, and so that is when riding a bike, knowing how to ride a bike comes in handy.
Oh no! Not just knowing how to ride a bike. That was a 1000cc bike. So knowing how to control it and correctly balance it, and at the same time, is how good you are. You just don't want your actor to fall off it.
Yeah. So, which bike do you have? Let me ask you that. I mean,
So
I'm
I
sure
have
you must be owning a bike as well, right?
I have had many bikes, and so my first bike that I bought was Honda Hurricane 250cc. It had a titanium exhaust, and it was a GP model bike. That was my first bike that I bought. After that, I've changed many bikes. So after that, I had a Yamaha two-stroke. At that point in time, the two-stroke would be one of the best bikes.
Yeah.
So Yamaha two-stroke RXG 135cc. I had it a couple of modifications done in it, and so I think that was one of the best bikes.
Mhm.
Then I had a Yamaha FZ. Then I had a KTM. No, then I had a Pulsar 220. Then I had a KTM, and I still do have the KTM.
Okay. Okay.
I also
And
have
what?
an active that works.
Okay. And have you sold off all the other bikes which you had in the
Yeah.
past?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, are you also an active rider? You go out on rides every Sunday or every weekend whenever you get a chance. Have you have you done any long rides, any memorable ride that you can think of?
I ride every single day. So that's one. I ride almost 50 kilometers, maybe give or take between 20 to 50 kilometers on daily basis.
No,
So that's
see,
one.
that daily commute is a different thing. So I understand that you must be,
Yes, I'm
riding.
writing about. So yes, a couple of memorable trips. One being, I have explored all the destinations which are in and around 200 to 300 kilometers from Mumbai.
Okay.
I have gone on trips on my bike with them. So
Okay.
yes,
Okay. And do you,
it's a
do you,
different. It is a if you plan it and you kind of organize it, it's a beautiful journey, and it's I think one of the best sunrises and the best sunsets you can enjoy.
which place?
Lonavala,
Lonavala.
Mathiran.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So do you do that with your friends, or are you a part of any specific group?
No, I'm part of no group, and I
Okay.
do that with my like-minded.
Okay. So, Sanober, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your life journey with us. It was truly wonderful. Any parting
Thank
advice that you would like to give to all other women stunt artists?
Well, you need to have alternate careers. You should have your alternate careers. And if you're young, if you can study right now, pick up a hobby, pick up a profession, and start having multiple professions, especially if you're a woman.
Absolutely. And I think it probably stands good for all other professions as well. I mean,
Oh,
I
yes,
think we should
absolutely.
definitely have more than one, mode of earning in today's world,
Ab-
because everything is so
ab-
uncertain. You never know what can
COVID is,
happen. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
you never happen. So you should plan, and you should, start practicing something else also. See, knowledge is infinite. The more you have, the lesser it is. Now it is up to each individual's capacity as to how much an individual can absorb and make the most out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And not
Very
just
well
let it
said.
go away.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any upcoming movie, any stunts for the upcoming movie that you're doing?
There are many. Um, we might not be able to name them in this one, but I'll
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
go ahead. It's Bunty and Bubbly 2, Lal Singh Chadda. I have been doing Shamshera. I've been
Okay.
working Production 68. Which else? Which else? How am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting?
Okay. Tell me something. I mean,
Yeah.
which specific actor you like to perform the stunt for the most?
Sonakshi Sinha, Aishwarya Rai, Katrina
Okay.
Kaif. Yeah.
Okay. And any specific reason why?
Oh, they're good people. Sonakshi is a very fun-loving person to be working with. She's
Okay.
too down to earth. She is
Okay.
absolutely caring and a very fun person to be working with.
Okay.
Even Aishwarya Rai, she is, I think, one of the most caring people to be on the set. And, if you're working for her, if you're doing something for her, she'd make sure that, yes, you are well fed, or probably you are safe, or
Yeah.
things are good for you. She personally makes sure of that.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sanoba, for sharing all these experiences with us. It was simply wonderful talking to you.
Same here.
And take care. And I say this to everyone nowadays in this pandemic. I do not know when we'll be, get over with this, but stay healthy, stay safe, take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Take care. Bye. So that was Sanober Pardiwalla, India's only Marvel Stuntwoman artist of Bollywood, who also is a biker, fitness trainer, nutritionist, mental health coach, and a clinical hypnotherapist. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the podcast show Candid Talks with Bharat V. If you like the show, please do like and subscribe and share with others. If listening on Apple Podcast, do not forget to rate 5 stars. If on Spotify or YouTube, do not forget to subscribe and share. All the bikers can listen to this podcast on bikersclub.in. इसके साथ हम आज का सफ़र यहीं समाप्त करते हैं. बहुत जल्द मुलाकात होगी अगले शो पर एक नए टॉपिक के साथ, नए लोगों के साथ, नए अंदाज में on Candid Talks with Bharat V. Stay home, stay safe. This is Bharat Vatsa signing off for today. दुआ में याद रखना. जय हिंद.